What is going on, everyone?
Yo. Oh, shoot.
What?
All right, here's the deal. While we chat, my laptop's literally about to die, so I'm going to go get my charge.
Okay. I will take over on the chat. What's going on, people?
Huge.
Philly Pod already on here. Chris Cal 2525. What's going on, you guys? We are back for another episode. I was off yesterday. I had some other things to do, some other commitments, but I am back now. And we have 3 NBA playoff games that we need to talk about. Let me start by saying, because I feel like this needs to be said, the Heat versus the Bucks was the most disgusting display of basketball I've ever seen in my life. Prince Chulo, what's up? Yeah. So honestly, the Heat and the Bucks, whatever form of basketball that was disgusting. And
this is what the Heat game looked like. That was literally the Heat game in a nutshell.
It was disgusting basketball. It was gross.
Just so gross.
It was so gross.
And everyone sold.
Everyone.
If Dwayne Dedman is your leading scorer, you've done something wrong.
And what, Bryn Forbes was the leading scorer for the Bucks, or close?
I've got a message for you, Bryn.
Disgusting.
Hey,
Who
Bryn,
are you?
Listening,
I've
Bryn?
never even heard your name.
Hey, Bryn, I hope you're listening. First of all, who are you? Second of all, how dare you just come off the bench and go 5 for 5? I mean, like, relax, dude.
Okay,
Relax.
I have to be honest for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the couch last night, and my sister said, Dawson, this is my brother's name. Dawson, do you ever think that Steph and his brother argue on the court? And I said, Steph? Brother? You could have heard a mouse fart in that house. It got so quiet. I said, and I just kept staring. And my brother said, before you say something you're going to regret, just shut up. Take an effing lap.
Yeah.
So my issue is we've talked about both Seth Curry and Steph Curry. The names couldn't sound more similar.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed this shit.
Yeah.
You guys, I trust me when I say I'm just as dumbfounded and befuddled as you all. I don't know how I missed this.
You know what happens?
No, it really doesn't. No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
No, it happens though, because.
So I just had to be transparent, because for me to sit on here and pretend
did you know LaMelo and Lonzo were related?
Yes, I knew that.
Okay.
They're the Ball brothers. Sure. You talk about it enough.
They're the Curry brothers.
When have you ever referred to them as the Curry brothers? When?
2 seconds ago?
Yes, James. I think we've confirmed that I didn't know they were brothers. Thank you so much.
James, relax.
So anyway, you guys, before you just start running your freaking gob, just understand that I'm taking full responsibility for this issue. I don't think.
Oh, the glasses are off.
I don't know what my brain was on. And maybe I did at one point know this, but last night it did not click for me. Huge F. And anyway.
It's okay. But guess
what? The amount of comments right now that are like, wow, is she serious? Unfortunately, I am.
But it's also like, it's not like you didn't know he was in the NBA. You just, you didn't know.
I bet on him all the time. That's I think what's concerning is maybe I'm not getting enough sleep. Maybe have you ever listened, like you've been watching ESPN, but you're not actually listening to what they're saying?
Well, you want to know something crazy? Did you know that they have a sister?
Someone said, well, at least you're hot. Who cares that you didn't know? Well.
Shut up. Did you know that they have a sister and she is, I'm pretty sure, married to a player on the Warriors?
Don't mind screw me like that.
Isn't that nuts, though? I think she's married to Damian Lee. So there's 3 Curries. And did you also know that their dad is the announcer for the Hornets games? And he played in the NBA, Del Curry. And did you know that their mom was an Olympic athlete?
I think I did know that their mom was they did like a story on Steph and his mom or something, and I did know that she was like a freak athlete.
Crazy family like dynamic.
Wasn't she track? Was she track?
Yeah. Track. Yeah.
I remember that, but how I missed the ball on Seth and Steph is beyond me. My brother literally said the only difference is a P in their names. I'm like,
oh, well, relax. There's also a T.
Screw me. I'm just gonna go screw myself in the corner here. Like, BRB. Anyway, you guys, I understand. It is what it is. Olivia's stupid. Tell all your friends.
Oh, relax.
Olivia doesn't know diddly squat. Just tell them.
Oh, relax.
Anyway.
We got some games on the slate, though. And they're looking...
We need to move on. Because
tasty.
What I just exposed about myself is just a lot, honestly. So
it's okay.
Seth Curry's dad-in-law is Doc Rivers.
No, did you know? Yeah, he's married. Seth is married to Doc Rivers' daughter, I think. Yeah.
There is a lot of basketball.
Dude, so this is crazy.
That's too much.
This is crazy. And Seth was on the Clippers, so he played for his father-in-law.
That could have gotten awkward.
I know.
Now I'm talking to you as your daddy, not your coach.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Dad, let me get in.
You come home from work. Your wife's like, how was work? Well,
Dad fucked me. He didn't play me.
You should have worded that better.
Yeah, that didn't come out right. All right, let's get to the games. So there's 3 games on tonight's slate. We're going to totally ignore that. Nick, let's fix that in post.
There's a lot to fix in post on that one, Nick.
A lot.
Don't let it. Just take back the part where I just exposed myself. We'll fix it.
Let's take back the part where I just basically said that Seth had an incestual relationship with Doc Rivers, and then we'll just run it. Clipping that. I mean, relax. We're going to fix that in post. No one's going to hear about it. It's fine. I meant in terms of like you didn't give him playing time, like tell dad to give me playing time, like
just move on.
Whatever. Nets Celtics. Let's do it. Interesting matchup. I think the Nets are going to sweep the Celtics, to be totally honest with you. I think this Nets team is actually very, very dangerous. I think the chemistry issues and the resting pre-playoffs did not show how good this Nets team really is, and I think this Celtics team is in for an absolute walloping tonight.
Bent him over, spank him on the butt.
Clip that.
With a wire hanger. No, here's the thing. I want to point out that I think down the line we could see the Nets struggle because I think defense wins championships, and that is the one fault to this Nets team is they do not know how to play defense. So I do worry a little bit about them down the line when they're going up against teams that are much more consistent than the Celtics. I do worry about that a little bit. However, up against the Celtics team, we've said it before, these Celtics, they just play like roulette with whichever player is going to be good on any given night, which is why I hate betting on them. I hate it. What's up, Matt Tweed? Tweed.
I just called him a dweeb.
No, his name is Matt Tweeb.
I know. I saw the T at the end. But I thought you were like, what's up, Matt Dweeb? I was like, oh my God.
No. Yeah, so I think that when it comes to betting the Celtics team, I don't want any part in it. I don't. I do not. Because you never know who's going to have a night, who's not going to have a night. We've seen it all season long. They can't decide who's playing well and who's not playing well on any given night.
Jaylen Brown hurts too,
Big time. So I think right now the Nets are going to do just fine against the Celtics team. But as they advance and the talent gets better and better, I worry about them in terms of not being able to defend these other players. DH Betts agrees with me, which means it's legit. Okay. But anyway, so I think to that point, we are both on the same side of this game in terms of props. I think we both like Nets props, which again confirms what I just said, that betting on the Celtics team is very difficult.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So let's start. You want to go first?
Yeah. For the Nets Celtics game, I really like KYRIE to get over 24.5 points. I took his over at 23.5 last time they played. And let's be totally honest. I put this out on Book It this morning and on Twitter, I believe. I'm going to be taking KYRIE's over in the playoffs until it hits around 28, 29.5, where it should be. He is a scorer. It's James Harden is a facilitator now. So when you look at who's going to score in these games, it's going to be Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has totally shut off the point guard part of his brain in terms of pass first or whatever that, if he ever was that. And I think he's going to consistently put up 29, 28 a game. So until it gets there, I'm just going to keep hammering it. If it loses, that's one of those losses you just take on the chin and you say, okay, today wasn't his day in scoring. But Kyrie, you know he's going to put up volume shots. And you know once he gets in his rhythm, he's dangerous. So over 24.5, I love that number up until 28.5, honestly, which I think it'll get to in the next round or maybe in the next couple of games if he hits another 29 like he did last game.
Love it. I'm on the same guy. I love Kyrie Irving tonight to have a big game in terms of scoring. I like him over 2.5 made threes. When he's played the Celtics, there were some early games where he had like 5 threes, 7 threes, a couple games where he had 0. I will argue that the middle of this season, we saw Kyrie Irving just kind of stop giving a shit, if we're being honest. And I think now that it's playoff time, it's time for him to really step it up and do what he does best. What you just said is scoring, and I couldn't agree more. I like him a lot to hit this over 2.5 made threes. I believe he had 2 the last time that he played the Celtics in game 1. But the Celtics aren't going down without a fight. I can tell you that much. And they're going to come out hot. They're going to want to really guard well. They're going to want to put up shots. They're probably going to have Jason Tatum taking a lot of shots from the 3-point line. Evan as well. Fournier. I don't even know how to say his last name. Fournier. They'll probably have him at the 3-point line as well. So I think, we may start seeing a game that gets pretty close. And
yeah, clip that.
What was that?
I don't know. Wasn't me.
Was that on my end?
Yeah, that was big your end.
There's a spirit coming through my laptop. We've got to stop this nonsense. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, I like him to hit this over 2.5 made threes. I think it's a good one. And
it was not my phone. That's Cat.
He got so defensive.
That's actually Cat. Stop capping, Nick.
Anyway, we're both on Kyrie Irving. We think he's going to have a great night.
Boom. Uncle Drew.
What?
His nickname, Uncle Drew.
That's Kyrie's nickname?
You don't know Uncle Drew?
Don't tell me that I don't know something again, or I will flip and crawl through this computer screen and choke you out. Nick, clip that. Anyway, I'm sick of him. I'm sick of everyone. You know what? If I get one more bomb dropped on me that someone knows someone who's dating someone who's married to someone whose brother is someone, I'm going to freak out. Anyway, okay. That being said, I feel better now. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, we have more props for you. Woohoo! Hey, Mike. Put your big boy pants on, find your nuts, and get over here.
Whoa. Whoa. Lakers Suns. Listen, here's my take on Lakers Suns. You want to hear my take on Lakers Suns? Here's my take on Lakers Suns. Anthony Davis is soft. Andre Drummond sucks. And DeAndre Ayton's been playing like a big boy. That's it.
And LeBron James, I didn't realize the NBA turned into a theater audition.
Oh my God, Liv, I saw a stat. Are you guys ready for this? Everyone that's listening, are you ready for this? When LeBron James got poked in the eye,
he was on the ground for how many seconds?
80 seconds. He spent more time on the ground than Joe Burrow did when he tore his ACL, MCL, and parts of his outer knee. And he spent more time on the ground than a baseball player did when he got hit in the face by a 94-mile-per-hour speedball. Fastball. Speedball. Fastball. That's Uncle Drew Liv. Kyrie would put on makeup and go to parks and just serve buckets on people as an old man.
Wait, that is cringy.
No, it's kind of funny. He would show up as an old man with a bag of peanuts and a gut, and he would just serve guys buckets. At outdoor parks.
Live. How come I didn't know he did that?
It was a huge thing a couple years ago. They made a movie about it.
I suck. Anyway, okay. Moving on.
Okay.
But no, honestly though, the whole the LeBron James theatrics need to end. If you're a LeBron James fanboy, go ahead and get in the comments section and talk about how much you love this GOAT of a player in the NBA. But I'm going to tell you something right now. No sugarcoat. We're not about that soft shit in here. I'm here to tell you right now, he's exuding pussy energy through my TV screen, and I've had about fucking enough of it. Okay.
Whoa.
I mean, honest to God, dude, get
Jesus,
off the floor. Quit trying to get the foul called every 5 seconds. And if you don't get the foul called, move on.
Yeah, play the game.
Quit
Play the game.
On the ground. Like, dude, you're
more
kidding
time
me.
than a guy that basically blew up his entire knee.
And a guy that got a baseball to the face.
94 miles per hour.
Like,
more
shut
time.
up.
Going.
Dude. Shut up. Get off the floor. Play basketball. If you are the GOAT, then you don't need to talk as much as you do in basketball. Let your talent speak for itself. Pick up the ball, put it in the hoop, and shut your pie hole. Anyway, I will say though,
Oh.
now that I've gotten that off my chest, I will say,
who do you like in tonight's game?
I do think that the Lakers are going to put up a fight tonight against the Suns team. I don't think that we'll see a sweep in these matchups. I think that the Lakers are going to come. They're going to be very aggressive, like myself today. I've seen the comments. They think I'm angry. I'm not angry. I'm just spitting facts.
Freaking throw hands.
And I think that we will see the Lakers definitely figure it out a little bit better. But I like the Suns.
Do you have a prop in this game?
No. I'm staying away from this game.
Okay.
I did like DeAndre Ayton over rebounds, though, because the last time I bet on Andre Drummond, he was buns, and I realized he's very soft, honestly.
Very soft.
He kind of plays like he's wearing ballet shoes a little. And so I was just like, nah, whatever. And DeAndre Ayton, I do believe, is very like, he's in it right now. So I love that.
He's in his groove. Yeah, I mean, for this game, I took a prop. I didn't take one for the Clippers-Mavs game, or I did actually. But for the Laker game, I actually, even though we talked a lot about him, I think LeBron over 24.5 points is great value for this game. Listen, as much as all these guys want to pretend like they don't listen to social media, Anthony Davis literally came out and said, listen, I dropped the ball. LeBron James isn't going to get swept. It can't happen to LeBron. The narrative would be horrendous for him. He only had 18 points last game. He knows he has to be better. He knows he has to play better to be called the king, to be called all these things, to be a GOAT. Over 24.5 feels like value for me right now. Even though he only had, I think it was 19-18 last game, he's going to have to get over this 24.5 point mark if they want to beat this Suns team. Going into the playoffs, the Suns were kind of on a cold streak. Looked like they couldn't put a lot of things together. DeAndre Ayton was kind of playing a little softer than normal. But listen, they shut up game one and absolutely slapped the Lakers in the mouth. So I think Liv is totally right. You're going to have to look at the Lakers are going to have to – the Lakers are just – they're going to have to show their bellies here. They're going to have to come out, and they're going to have to play the game of basketball like they played when they were at their best. And that means LeBron James has to play at his best. 24.5 points. I love this for LeBron tonight.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get it, I'm over.
Don't confuse my anger with the fact that I don't believe LeBron James is a fantastic basketball player. He is incredible. He does things that nobody else can do. He's great. But that is exactly my point. Just be great and stop with the extra shit. I'm trying to watch basketball. I'm not trying to watch the drama, the whole Chris Paul thing where it was a foul that then turned into a whole like boxing match between both teams. Like, dude, you see what you're causing now? Like, it's getting to the point where I feel like teams.
Oh, wait, did you see LeBron fell on his shoulder after that? And he went to where all the arguing was just to hold his shoulder again in front of the refs. Like, he was down on the ground, noticed no one was looking, and then like got up and went over to where the scuff was, and then was like,
I can't. Those are the things that I just cannot deal with. It's annoying. It's annoying. But my thing is to like, that's my very point. Like, I am the first person to say that LeBron James is talented. He is arguably the GOAT in a lot of different ways, but just like play ball, dude. Like, you are good. So let your talent speak for itself. And I think there's teams that are getting frustrated with this because they know no matter how good we play, the refs are favoring LeBron and his team, and there's fouls that aren't being called when they should be called, and it's just becoming this whole ordeal. And it's like, just play basketball.
Well, yeah, the reffing in the league this year has been too much involved in the way games are being played out. Like the flagrant system right now has been absurd. I mean, and you know what the nature of the game is though? These guys are going to hunt for fouls because the rule book allows you to hunt for fouls. So that's why it's tough to watch. And the refs this season more than ever have made themselves too much a part of every game, whereas they're supposed to be a mediator. They're not supposed to be making these like decisions every single second of every single game. They rarely let the boys play. And then once they do let them play and there's something that happens, you get a technical foul. You get a flagrant. Like this is basketball at the end of the day. It's a competitive sport where these grown men are going to go at each other. So you have to like, there has to be like an inch of like, if Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal played in today's game, they would have gotten thrown out of every single game with the way they played. Right. So there's just been a shift. And
that's what it is too, is I just have to remember that the sport and the league in general have gotten soft. Therefore, the players are acting soft. And that to me is just annoying. And I'm like,
because the GOAT, the guy that everyone looks up to, leads the charge on that.
Right. That's why it makes me so annoyed. Like you're quote unquote the GOAT, but you're crying over a finger in your eye and laying on the ground for 80 seconds. Like that doesn't scream GOAT behavior to me, if we're being honest. GOAT behavior is you just got jousted in the eye and it's watering and maybe a little blood and you still are just bawling, not complaining, doing your thing instead of like
you get up. Just get up off the ground at your eye.
Get up. Anyway, that's all.
Really good game. For the third game in tonight's slate. I actually love this matchup so much. I think this is going to be one of the best series, I think, in this first round of the playoffs. Because I think, listen, the Clippers have heard every ounce of everyone calling them ass all season. And then they showed up, and the Mavs, just like the Suns did, absolutely slapped them in the face and said, hey, this is not going to be a walk. Oh, hello from France. Parlez-vous français?
Oui, oui.
Well, listen, I think this matchup is going to be really, really good. I think tonight you could see a different Clippers team with the way they play. I think Liv and I are both on the same side of this one just because he's a player that you have to bet on. And I think, Liv, if you want to break down who you took and why you took it, I think it plays into why I'm taking him as well.
Yeah, so,
he spoke back. I don't know what that means, though. Oui, bien sûr.
I think it's,
yes, good. I'm good.
Yes, I'm good.
Or how are you?
Right? Can you give us a thumbs up if we're right? Yes, I'm good. Anyway. So the thing is, my explanation for why I'm taking this prop may actually hurt your prop. So I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but the only reason that
Nick, fix this in post.
No.
Go ahead.
What I want to say is I think half of the reason that the Mavs were able to beat the Clippers was because of Luka Doncic. He's incredible. But if I am the Clippers team going into game 2, if I am the coach of the Clippers team, which I know that I am not, but if I'm looking at this next game, I'm going anybody but him. Okay? He cannot shoot the way that he just shot this last game. He just can't, or we are losing this game again because he's unstoppable. So to kind of help us both out, if they can't figure out how to stop him, then I love your prop. But if they do figure out a way to not stop him, but to apply the pressure, that is why I'm taking over 9.5 assists for Doncic tonight. He averages 11 against this Clippers team. But again, if I'm the Clippers, I'm going, dude, he single-handedly whooped our ass. Like, we have to get him under control or this series is not going to go in our favor. So I like them to maybe apply some pressure to him tonight because he is half the reason that the Mavs won the last game. I think he put up 31 points. So to come off of a game like that, if I'm the Clippers team, I'm defending him, and he is my priority in terms of stopping someone on the Mavs offense. So if they can apply that pressure, which again, I don't think that they're ever going to be able to stop him. They may be able to apply some pressure. So in that case, I like over 9.5 assists because he may be forced to pass the ball a lot tonight if they do apply that pressure to him defensively. So that was my only reasoning there instead of taking his points, because I did think about his points as well, but I'm just thinking like This is playoffs, and if the Clippers want any chance here, they've got to stop LUKA. They have to. So
yeah, and I think that's my reason right there at the end of your sentence. I took Luka Doncic to get over 30 plus for a little bit of juice. It's at 28.5 right now. I think his normal line. I think this was +1 something. And I think, like you said right there at the end of your sentence, it's the playoffs. Playoff Luka has been a totally different animal. And I think, listen, I think you're totally right. The Clippers are going to come out and say, okay, anyone but him. But Luka is one of the best players in the NBA because of his ability to create his own shots. We see a lot of players that everyone loves watching that they say are the best. But when it comes to when a team wants to stop you, they absolutely fold. And I think Luka's one of these guys that has learned how to create his own shots and under any circumstance can get his buckets.
Right.
And I think, listen, the rotation is probably going to be Pat Beverly, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard on him all night, right? We saw Paul George try to lock up Damian Lillard. That never worked, ever. Literally ever. I think Damian Lillard dropped like season highs against Paul George every single time and hit that absolute like gagger from half court like when he was on the Thunder. And I think he just has the size over Pat Beverly. If Pat Beverly's playing, I believe he is. I'm not sure though. I think
he is.
But I think, listen, Luka, I think, like you said, if the Mavs want to win, he has to do both though. He has to facilitate and he has to score. And listen, Luka's good for over 9.5 assists when he wakes up in the morning. And I think he's good for over 30 points when he wakes up in the morning as well. He's just one of these guys that knows when he's on, they're on. When he's playing well, they play well. I forget what player we were talking about a couple episodes ago that when that person is on, everyone plays up to them. I believe it was Ja Morant or something like that on one of those teams where you have guys like Kristaps.
I think it was Steph Curry.
It was Steph on the Warriors, exactly. And I see Luka in that same scenario, except he has some guys that can sometimes turn it on. But if he's not leading the charge, it's really hard for everyone to get going. And I think Luka's ready to win in the playoffs, man. I mean, he's ready to take this Mavs team to another level and show that, listen, you can build an absolute super house around me, just like how Giannis is doing with the Bucks right now. And I think this is a series where you show that because the Clippers were last year favored to win the finals, this year kind of wavering a little bit. And if you can put the nail in the coffin on the Clippers in this playoff series, that sets the Mavs up in free agency, whatever they want to do. So I think, 30 points, there's a little bit of juice, a little wary because I think Liv's right. They're going to try to throw the house in him. But I trust Luka too much in this matchup to not at least put a taste on it. So
for sure. No, and I honestly, that's another thing too. Is let's not forget that Luka Doncic was averaging triple doubles every other night throughout this season. So it would not be absurd for him to get 30 plus points and over 9.5 assists and over 9.5 rebounds in the same game. I mean, he's done it before and he'll do it again. He's definitely the guy, like you said, to set the tone for this team, and kind of. He is the deciding factor on how this Mavs team will perform in playoffs. He is kind of the leader on that team. The offense is built around him. He knows what he's doing. So I would argue both props are great. It's just a matter of, do you think the Clippers can stop Luka? He's very hard to guard. It's really hard to guard a guy like Luka Doncic, but if you put enough pressure on him, he will be forced to pass the ball a little bit more. So I could see both of these props hitting, and by no way will I say that Luka can be stopped by this Clippers team, but enough pressure, he may be forced to look for his teammates and get the ball out of his hands. So
I think you're right. He's going to have to be wheeling and dealing all game, whether it's scoring or passing, because he creates everything for this team. And that's kind of the thing with the Nuggets as well. If everything's not going through Jokic, let's be honest, the Nuggets extremely mediocre. But when everything's going through him, they're one of the best teams in the league. And I think that kind of goes with the Mavericks as well. Everything is going to flow through Luka. So every prop is a possibility for him in games like this, where it's basically win or go home every night, because you never know if you're going to blow the next game or the next game. So you need to build that cushion of wins in the playoffs. And I think, listen, Luka's going to have to do it all. So I love every Luka prop for the rest of the playoffs that he's present in. But I think before we get to the party prop, should we do a quick recap and then end it with the party prop?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's start with the Nets Celtics.
Nets Celtics, I like Kyrie Irving over 2.5 made threes.
Bang.
Bang.
I enjoy Kyrie Irving over 24.5 points. As we said earlier, I just think I'm going to take it up till 28.5 just because he's a cold-blooded scorer now. He's not a facilitator. He's a get the guy the ball and let him go to work and let him put some buckets in the basket.
Boom.
And then the next game on the slate. Yeah, you got it.
Suns versus Lakers. I actually don't have a bet for this one. We did talk a little bit about how it's becoming more of a theater performance than anything else on the Lakers right now, and it's a little hard to watch. Can't really stomach it right now, so I'm staying away from this one. But Mike, you had a prop that you were interested in for this one.
Yeah, I took LeBron over 24.5 points. Listen, if the Lakers are going to win, he's going to have to be one of the leading scorers on the Lakers, if not the lead scorer. Scoring 18 last time out, he's going to have to turn up a little bit more if they want to beat this Suns team, because this Suns team proved that they're going to be extremely hard to beat. So, LeBron, let's see you turn it up.
Turn it up. Also, something I was thinking about today, just a little side note, is at some point, expect to see a big game from Chris Paul. That's just what my gut is saying.
His point line's at 13.5 right now.
I know, and I'm telling you, I think right now he's kind of taking it slow, and he's kind of. But I will say, when it comes to playoff time, he is the veteran on this Suns team. He's the most experienced person on this Suns team. So while this young Suns team starts to feel the pressure, starts to get tired, starts to crack under that playoff pressure like we see a lot of these young players do, Chris Paul is going to be the Suns guy. At some point in time, my gut is telling me to keep an eye out on his line. And if you start seeing these younger players slow down because they can't handle the heat, I'm just saying I can see him having a big game here soon. I really can.
Absolutely.
But anyway, next game is
Clippers Mavs.
Clippers Mavs, which is a game that I think we both are very excited about. Two really great teams. I am on LUKA DONCIC, but I'm on his assists, over 9.5 assists tonight, assuming that if I'm the Clippers and I'm coaching the Clippers, I'm going, we got to get that guy under control or we are not winning this series. So I like them to apply some pressure tonight. Obviously, I think LUKA will still have a big game, but applying some pressure, forcing him to get the ball to his teammates, I like him over 9.5 assists.
Yeah, I like LUKA to score 30-plus points. I just think playoff LUKA's built different right now, and I think he's going to keep having to put the ball in the net to keep this Mavs team alive.
Correct.
And then we also have a sneaky party prop, but... Oh my God.
One more time. There we go.
Just one more time.
That was a lot all at once, actually.
That was a lot.
Nick in the back has been waiting for us to get to the party prop.
Literally shaking, wanting to click that button. Like, when are they going to talk about the party prop? Oh my God. He's still waiting. What's today's party prop? I'm not going to put anyone's reputation online. I went out and just chose what I think is going to be the most fun thing to ride for everyone in the community. And it's going to be Anthony Davis' first basket. And I'm going to break it down for you. They're going to win the tip. They're going to get the ball to LeBron. LeBron, after last night, is going to go, hey, we need to get Anthony Davis working early. It's going to be a mid-range jumper on the right side baseline, and he's going to cash it. Obviously, who's going to cash is Anthony Davis, because LeBron's going to pass the ball because they need to get Anthony Davis going early, and I think LeBron knows that, and he needs to make that shot.
I love it. You were I have to give you a shout out because the last time that you had the first basket as Anthony Davis, your explanation was on point. He just missed the shot.
Bricked it.
So I think we still ride with it. I love it. I think the value's there. It makes it exciting. And here, this is one of these props. Don't go putting your life savings on a prop like this.
No,
okay?
Just sprinkle.
Just a little sprinkle. Just a little sprinkle. And, they're electric because when they cash, man, you just feel like you are the bookie of the year. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
the booketer of the year.
Booketer?
And what's Book It Sports, you might ask? Well, it's the place where me and Liv are also going to be posting some exclusives. And guess what? Liv's breaking into baseball. So if you're a big baseball fan. I have
a baseball prop tonight, everyone. I do indeed.
Boing. And you're probably saying, well, what is Book It Sports? Well, Book It Sports is your one-stop shop social media scrolling platform that is free on the App Store and Google Play Store that you can do a multitude of things. We'll only break down a couple for you right now. You can, one, post to the feed your picks, your analysis, your memes, or even chirp somebody like me who's giving out dog doo-doo picks some days if you're feeling like it. You can also follow your friends. You can follow me. You can follow Liv. You can follow the Book It team. You can follow anyone you want on the platform and interact with them and see their picks to help you make informed decisions. You can also track your picks that you're placing in your sports books. And guess what? Your account keeps a record. So everyone knows if you're good or if you're just capping out what you're talking about. And that way, people see a good record, they want to tail you. So if you want to prove yourself, download the app, track your picks, and let's get it going. And guess what? If you're going through a cold streak, you just want a little bit of help, you can buy expert picks from our Book It verified handicappers on the platform of your choice. We've got a multitude of cappers, and guess what? They sell picks every single day. So stop missing out. Download the app. I'm going to drop exclusives that I didn't talk about here. Liv's going to drop exclusives she didn't talk about here, including a baseball prop, which is very cheeky. And guess what? That's how the cookie crumbles. So get on it. This is wet. Oh, my God.